Stefano Secchi, the executive chef of Massara here in New York City. We're making what I think is the perfect sausage ragu from southern Italia with Cortecce pasta. Fire it up. We've had Res Dora here for about 5.5 years. We were able to get a few stars here and there. We're kind of doing it like next level southern Italian food here at Massara. It's gonna be amazing. Today we're making a sausage ragu in bianca with a little bit of prosciutto inside. Ragu is meat-based. It's a sauce for pasta for the most part. This dish at its best is the saltiness of the sausage. You have the chewiness of the pasta. You have the Parmigiano Reggiano, the creaminess of that. And then you have this like really beautiful bitterness that comes from the broccoli rabe. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna get our sausage ready and start browning off our sausage. So since we do a decent amount of production here, I usually take a sheet tray. We just take a half sheet tray, add a little bit of neutral oil. We have sunflower oil here, right? And I'm gonna oil the base of this sheet tray. So when people think of sausage, they think about sausage in the casing. We actually buy our sausages in bulk. It's pork shoulder with pepper, a little bit of garlic, peperoncino, which makes it a little bit spicy, fennel, and salt, okay? It's better than the sausages in the casing, so you have to open the casings one by one to make this ragu, right? 10-ounce Mike Tyson glove, right? That's gonna go in and help to press down the sausage, okay? We wanna create like surface area, right? It's actually a fish weight. It works really well. You can use the bottom of a pot. So again, neutral oil, we don't want to use extra virgin olive oil because we need something with a really high smoke point, right? So I have sunflower here. We use sunflower a lot in Italia. Like the more surface area, the more Maillard reaction you have in the ragu at the end of the day. So that's why we want to have the most amount of surface area possible, and that's why we flattened out the sausage, okay? You can easily do it in a stock pot like this, like we have back here. You just have to do it in smaller batches. We do it this way because at the restaurant we do almost 20 pounds of sausage at a time. Pork's the right move for this ragu because it's nice and fatty. So then we'll re-emulsify that into the sauce before we serve it with the pasta. The right amount of browning is like what we're looking for right here, right? This little section right here. It's not cooked through at this point. It's cooked about 50%. Okay, so we browned off the sausage. We're gonna get this downstairs and get it mixed up in the stand-up mixer with half of the weight in prosciutto di Parma. Sausage is going right inside the mixer, okay? You can do it by hand. In the beginning, we used to just take a wooden spoon and it became way too tedious. So then we have prosciutto di Parma 24 mese, 24-month prosciutto di Parma. It's gonna go right inside with the sausage. I mean, just think about when you have sliced prosciutto with mozzarella, just think about what it adds. It's just next level of richness, right? When we mix this so we can just break it all apart, right? So when you're saucing, you'll see later when we make the actual pasta and put it all together that there aren't big chunks of sausage as part of the ragu, right? It's one like nice mixed homogenized ragu. We're gonna let this mix for another 10 minutes and then it's gonna go right into our soffritto upstairs. So the soffritto is the depth of flavor, like that vegetable flavor that gives that depth of the ragu. We're doing a soffritto bianco here, which is a white soffritto, which means no carrots at all. One of the big secrets at Massara and Res Dora is that we blend it until it's fully emulsified, and so when it melts into the ragu, you don't even know it's there. So our soffritto bianco consists of equal parts yellow onion, we have shallot, and we have green onion, cipollotto, we say in Italiano, and then celery, right? So I also use the celery leaves because the celery leaves are just as important. And then we have extra virgin olive oil. So again, everything is gonna go in at the same time. To have it emulsify with your ragu is one of the things that makes our ragus here, really incredible. What I usually do is I'll blend a lot of this, and then we have ice cube trays in our freezer, and I'll just put the soffritto in each one of the ice cube trays. They'll go inside the freezer, and then when I want to make like a quick ragu or a quick salsa pomodoro or something, then I'll just pop out the ice cube trays, and then I'll just cook the soffritto there. If you're looking for like an incredible restaurant style quality, then this is one of those like integral parts that you don't want to skip. Okay, so this is blended, and now we're just gonna cook it down. I have the same pan that we cooked the sausage in. We have the fond on the bottom there, which are all the brown pieces. We're gonna add a little bit more of extra virgin olive oil, okay? You guys smell that? I mean, it's unbelievable, right? Right? So it has to be cooked so we can cook the alliums, the Spanish onion, the shallot, to bring even more depth of flavor, right? And we also want to scrape off the fond at the bottom. And then imagine this melting into the ragu, right? So now a lot of white wine, okay? So almost a full liter of vino bianco. The ragu is pretty fatty, right? So you need the acidity in the background to kind of cut through all the fat. And so when you have that white wine and reduce it, you have this like syrup of like rich acidity that's gonna add the balance of the flavor for the ragu. So this is gonna cook for another 10 minutes until the white wine's fully reduced. Our sofrito's cooked down with our white wine. You see how the white wine is pretty much all but reduced right now, right? So that's like an intense acidity, right? We have the sausage and the prosciutto that has been mixed together really well. Chicken stock is gonna go right inside as well. So chicken stock is just gonna add that next layer of flavor, right? And you have a lot of gelatin inside, it's really, really delicious, okay? So you break up the sausage slightly, okay? And what I have is we have a lot of Parmigiano Reggiano that we use in the restaurant. That's gonna go, all the rinds are in cheesecloth right now. You have this like really intense stock with this flavor of Parmigiano that is one of those things that just, how do you get that next level of flavor? This Parmigiano, again, has been sitting in Emilia-Romagna, section of Emilia-Romagna, 24 months, right? 2 years off of people's lives this has been sitting. And so this flavor is really intense. And then we're gonna cook it really, really slow for the next 10 hours. So we have to get this on, you know, what is it, like 9:30, 10 a.m. right now? We have to get this on because this has got to cook all the way until we get to service at 5 p.m. today, right? So we let it cook for 10 hours and that'll give us time to start rolling our pasta downstairs. You want to make your own pasta here because this is one of the doughs that's so easy to make, but also so satisfying that you have this like extra chew. So I'm going to start semolina. We get semolina rimacinata, which means that it's not coarse semolina, but it's semolina that's been passed again through the mill. Semolina is a durum-based flour. And then we have doppio zero. Doppio zero, again, is soft wheat flour, both of which are pretty fine grinds, have really nice mouth texture. Okay, we're making the well, and I have acqua calda. So this needs to be hot water, okay? Because why? Hot water is easier for the dough to hydrate. And listen, you can easily do this in a bowl or whatever you want, whatever is easiest for you guys. I always start that way, and that's a good trick for anyone at home. I always add a little bit of water at a time because each flour hydrates differently. So now I'm gonna start working it really well, okay? 1, 2, 3, gira, turn. 1, 2, 3, turn, okay? 1, 2, 3, turn. What we're doing right now is we're just creating all the gluten, right? And you can see how, especially with the semolina, it's starting to get much more difficult to knead, right? It's hydrating, you're developing the gluten, the proteins, natural proteins in the dough. We always do a thumb test, and when it bounces back right away, it's ready. Yes, it bounced back because there's gluten developed, but not enough, right? So I'm gonna continue for another 3 or 4 minutes, okay? Okay, let's fold it over again. Tanta roba, ragazzi. So we're gonna just, adesso, cover it, plastic wrap. We're gonna let this pasta dough rest for at least 30 minutes, and then we're gonna roll it out at rest room temperature. You gotta get Chef Tony. He's been on almost all these videos. Chef Tony, you gotta turn around. You've been on so many. It's like, Okay, now we're in the temperature-controlled pasta room, which is like the heart of all of Massara, right? And the best thing here is that we have the Ferraris. We have the Ferrari of pasta machines, La Monfarina. Cortecce is going to be one of those shapes that you just don't see anymore. If we think of cavatelli, when you roll it out and then you press it with 2 or 3 fingers, it looks kind of like a small seashell, right? Cortecce is pressed with 4 fingers, right? So this is one of those where you get just long enough, but you also, the indentions will allow the ragu to sit inside. So that's what makes it really beautiful. One of my favorites. Okay, so, I mean, it's just flour and water, but it smells incredible, right? It's tacky. Okay, rested. We're gonna have some doppio zero flour. I'm gonna cut it in half. Okay. Whenever we work at both Resdor and Massara, we always laminate our doughs because it also helps with that al dente texture that we're looking for, yeah? So you'll see that I folded it in half just then. Laminating is when you fold over, just like you would have like those layers in a croissant, right? So you'll get like the bite and the texture when you laminate the dough like this, right? Okay, so you'll see that like I haven't added too much flour at all, right? We just don't want the actual pasta to be gummy because you add additional flour and layer upon flour, flour upon layer, and it's like, instead of it being integrated into the dough, and the flour just stays on top, and that's how you'll get the gumminess on a pasta that you're not looking for. And again, we have to talk about how we get cortecce done well. So we take a pastry cutter. Pastry cutter makes everything really nice and even, which is super important, especially when you're at the restaurant. So you can do cortecce the exact same every time. So we have 2 strands of the pasta. Pull it apart. So cortecce is gonna be about that size in width. Uno, due, tre. Press, pull. Yeah, like that's what we're looking for, right? Just take a look here. You have all these divots, and you have little pieces of sausage sitting in there. So when you take 1 or 2 or 3 forkfuls, you have the calabrian chili, the garlic, the sausage inside. It's like, it's the best medium, the best way to transport the ragu into your mouth. I don't know any other better way to put it. I mean, I'm gonna roll out the rest of this cortecce. We're gonna press them. We're gonna let it dry, and then it's gonna go right into our dish with the sausage ragu. Fire it up. Okay, so the ragu has been simmering right for 8 hours. We're finishing everything up right now. The pasta's been made. We've rolled it out. We've formed everything, and now we're gonna put it all together. Yeah, this is where it all comes together. So I have the broccoli rabe. The bitter is gonna counteract like the really richness of the sausage ragu. Add a little bit of extra virgin olive oil to the pot right now. We're gonna add the broccoli rabe in first, okay? A pan like this really helps to incorporate the air, right? I'm gonna add a little bit of sliced garlic. We slice the garlic on a mandolin really thin so it melts into the sauce, right? An important part of this is to get like a depth of flavor with fresh Calabrian chilies. So that's the base. We're gonna add our sausage ragu that's been cooking down, okay? Coarse sea salt, that's what we're gonna season the water with, right? And always taste the pasta water. People think it's crazy, but it's fundamental, right? The pasta, like 50% of the flavor in the pasta is gonna be from the water, right? So we're gonna drop our cortecce that's been cooked through, finished. That's gonna take 2 to 3 minutes to cook, okay? Broccoli rabe's been cooked down, 2 to 3 minutes to cook the cortecce. So I have beautiful starchy water from the pasta, okay? We're gonna add that in. I cook the pasta 75% of the way there, and la mantecatura, the glazing, is gonna cook it the rest of the 25%, right? We add pasta water because the starch in the pasta water is gonna help to, A, finish the cooking process of the actual pasta, and then B, help glaze the sauce. Off the heat, Parmigiano Reggiano abbondante, which means a lot of Parmigiano Reggiano, and then we have a finishing oil. See how it's all glazed really nice and beautifully, and you have a nice sheen, right? This is what we're looking for, yeah? I love to have everything in the middle, and I'm just gonna finish with just a little bit of more ragu on top. Oh my God. So we have the spiciness of Calabrian chili, we have the richness of the sausage ragu, we have the bitterness of the broccoli rabe, the Parmigiano, the olive oil. It's like Southern Italy to a T. You saw everything being done, right? The Soffritto got emulsified, the sausage was browned. We put everything together in, that was like 3 minutes, right? You just have the best ingredients you can get your hands on, and then, yeah, you're off to the races. It's 100%. You can easily do this. Cheers. I used to do this when I was in college. I used to do these ragus and always have like late night ragu after we go have cocktails, you know, and just everyone would come over to my house and I just cook big bowls of pasta with sausage ragu and then bread to scarpetta, and it's like, you become the spot, right? Everyone wants to come over. All right. We got Taco Bell. Taco Bell works too.